Okay, so we're back, and so we've already done step one, and it is finished proofing, and so it's time to pull it out of my oven. And what the rules are 1 hour or until it's double in size, and this is what I ended up with. So let's talk about steps two. Step two is the second rise, but what I have to do is take this great risen bread and just kind of punch it down a little so that it lets some air out. And that's what it looks like when you take it and punch it down. Again, my kitchen's still a mess, so don't say anything. No judgment. But you take it and punch it down, and then what I like to do, excuse me, is take just a simple scraper for your kitchen, and this is how I divide it in half. Now I learned a great clue from a sugar cookie decorator that I took classes from, that instead of getting flour all over your counter, go ahead and use parchment paper. And so what I'm going to do is take half of this dough. It's a little bit warm. It's not hot, but it's a little warm. And put it on one piece of parchment paper. And the rest of the dough can go on a second piece of parchment paper over here. And this I'll put in the sink so it can start soaking. All right. And yes, you're hearing Christmas music because I'm a Christmas kind of girl. So what we're going to do is take and kind of shape this a little. It'll be a little bit sticky, but not too bad. Because what you want to do is get it so it fits inside the pan. And so that's why we need the rolling pin. But you got to start with the shape that's similar to the one that you really want. So now what I'm going to do is take another piece of parchment paper, excuse me, and lay it on top and just kind of roll it out till it's the right length. Now, you may remember that it said cornmeal and egg white and water. One of the last things that you do to this bread after it's cooked for about 25 minutes is you pull it out. Well, first of all, the cornmeal goes in the bottom of the pan, and it's just a sprinkling of it. But I'm probably not going to use it in this particular pan because I want to see how it does without it. But basically, you're just trying to get it so it'll fit in the pan. So then, put that so it won't roll off. Keep this because I need it for the second one. So now, what I'm basically going to do, take and turn it this way, and I'm going to roll it. And you just want to roll it pretty tight until you have a roll like this. And you want to tuck the ends in because you don't want it to be open too much. If you don't do that, then it's going to get really hard and dried out. So I got a crease, ended up with a crease from my parchment paper, but it's not going to hurt anything. Basically roll it over, find where that seam is that you've just created, and pinch it really good so that it helps it stay together and it won't come apart. Once you do that, make sure it's all nice and rounded, and you simply pick it up and put it in the pan. One loaf down, one more to go. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the second loaf that I did with the first. So it's just a big clump right now. You want to work with it quickly because it will dry out, so you'll end up with dry flour kind of things on the top. But get it shaped the shape you want it. And then you're going to roll it out to finish it, getting it the size you want. So that goes there, that goes there. And what this does, you know, you could just throw flour on the counter and roll it out on the counter, but it does two things. It adds flour to your bread, which dries it out. And it makes a mess, and it's wasteful because you're going to throw away a lot of that flour. Okay. So now you need to roll it out this way to get a little bit bigger. But this is one of my favorite recipes. If you can see how easy it is to make, and my family really likes it. And guess what? I can wipe this off, but I don't have to really do a deep scrub on it because I didn't put a lot of flour on it. So that's out of the way. Take this one off. And the same thing we did with the other one. We're going to start on the side facing me, and we're going to roll it. And you want to tuck in the ends as you go and keep rolling. And when you get all the way around, you pinch it together, and that gets it to create a seal so it doesn't break apart. Make sure it's dried, make sure it's pinched together. And maybe if you have to, roll it a little bit more. I think in hindsight I would have used some long sheet parchment paper instead of the pre-cut because I'm getting the crease in the middle, which I don't seem to be able to get away from. Then you just pick it up, drop it in the pan. And now this goes back into the oven on my proofing setting, which your oven may have if it's a newer one. They go in for an hour. And when I'm done with this, then they'll be cooked. So I will come back to you and show you what they look like before they go in the oven. Talk to you soon.